Have you ever felt like life is swallowing you whole? That time accelerates, responsibilities pile up, and your mind just won't stop? It's an avalanche of emails, notifications, tight deadlines, and an endless to-do list. You try to keep up, but it feels like the more you run, the further behind you fall. Stress becomes your constant companion. Anxiety knocks on your door without warning, and all you want is a moment of relief, a breath, a genuine moment of peace. I know exactly how that feels. That relentless search for a bit of calm amidst the chaos. But what if I told you that this peace is not a distant luxury, something you can only find in an isolated retreat or after hours of meditation? What if I told you there is a secret, a simple yet powerful method based on the ancient wisdom of Zen that can help you find deep calm now in just 5 minutes? Yes, you heard right. 5 minutes. Sounds too good to be true? Maybe. But the truth is, the peace you seek already resides within you. Sometimes we just need a key to unlock that door, and that key might be simpler than you imagine. Stay with me, because this video is not just another one about well-being. It's about a practical tool, applicable today, right now, in the middle of your day when you need it most. It's the moment you've been waiting for to start reclaiming your inner tranquility. I've been exactly where you are. For a long time, my life was an endless race. I prided myself on being a multitasker, always busy, responding to everything and everyone instantly. But inside, I was exhausted. The external agitation reflected in my mind, creating constant noise that prevented me from hearing myself. I felt like I never had a second to truly breathe, to just be. I sought solutions everywhere: books, lectures, courses. Some things helped a bit, but the feeling of being at the mercy of circumstances persisted. Then, almost by chance, I came across the principles of Zen, and more specifically, an incredibly simple yet profoundly transformative practice. I started applying it, and to my surprise, I noticed that in just 5 minutes, I could feel a real difference. Clarity emerged, tension decreased, and I felt more centered, even amidst the surrounding chaos. This discovery led me to explore other sources of wisdom that resonated with this idea of finding inner peace and strength. I delved into Buddhist teachings about the mind and detachment, the fluid simplicity of Taoism, the practical resilience of Stoicism, and the evidence-based tools of positive psychology. And what I realized was fascinating. All these millennial traditions and modern science pointed to universal principles for cultivating peace, and many of them could be accessed quickly, in just a few minutes. I combined these insights with that 5-minute Zen secret, and the result was a powerful method that allowed me to transform my days, even in the most chaotic moments. Today, my goal is to share this method with you, so you too can experience this transformation. So you don't have to wait for a perfect moment to find peace, but can create it, anytime, anywhere, starting now. And look, I've prepared a special surprise for those who stay with me until the end of this video. It's something that will help you even more on this journey to peace, so watch till the end. And some good news: if you like this video now and leave a comment, YouTube will better understand your taste and recommend more videos like this, which can really help you live a calmer and fuller life. So if you need this peace, give it a like, comment, and let's dive in together. As I mentioned, the life I lived before was a growing spiral of activities and worries. I remember a specific phase maybe 5 years ago, when I woke up already, feeling behind. The email inbox exploding, notifications popping up on the phone before I even got out of bed, the to-do list that seemed to double in size every hour. I tried to keep up with everything, felt productive, but at a tremendous cost: my inner peace. It was like my mind was a browser with 50 tabs open at the same time, each tab competing for attention, each generating a small dose of stress. I was physically present in one place, but my mind was always somewhere else, in the future, worried about what I had to do, or in the past, ruminating over what I didn't do or what went wrong. This disconnection between where I was and where my mind was the root of much anxiety and a constant feeling of insufficiency. And I'm not alone. Look around. We live in an era of constant stimulation. Social media shows us seemingly perfect lives, generating comparisons and the feeling that we're not good enough. The news cycle bombards us with information, much of it negative, fueling fear and insecurity. The accelerated pace of work and personal life forces us to always be on, always available. It's like trying to find an oasis of calm in the middle of a digital sandstorm. This external agitation internalizes. Our minds get used to this frenetic rhythm, becoming noise generators themselves. Accelerated thoughts, constant worries, the critical inner dialogue, all of this creates a barrier to peace. The irony is that in our pursuit of more productivity, more success, more things, we end up sacrificing precisely what would allow us to enjoy all of this: tranquility and presence. The big question is, how to find a refuge of calm in this whirlwind? How to silence the internal and external noise, even if just for a few minutes. Many of us think we need big life changes, changing jobs, living in the countryside, going on a months-long meditation retreat to find this peace. And while these things can be useful, the truth is that peace is not an external destination. It's an internal state. And like any internal state, it can be cultivated, trained, and accessed, even in small doses. That was the great lesson I learned from Zen wisdom. Zen at its core is not about complicated rituals or dogmatic beliefs. It's about the practice of presence, about finding enlightenment in the simplest and most everyday moments. And what I discovered is that this practice can be distilled into something incredibly accessible: a 5-minute method. This 5-minute Zen method is not a magical solution that will make all your problems disappear, but it is a powerful tool to change your relationship with those problems. It's a way to create a small sanctuary of calm within you, no matter what's happening outside. It's based on simple principles: awareness of breath, non-judgmental observation of thoughts, and the ability to let go of what we can't control. Throughout this video, we'll explore this 5-minute method in depth. But we won't stop there. We'll enrich and strengthen it with the timeless wisdom of other great traditions. Buddhism will teach us about the nature of the mind and detachment. Taoism will show us the beauty of flowing with life instead of resisting it. Stoicism will give us the strength to focus on what we can control and accept what we can't. And positive psychology will offer us science-based tools to cultivate positive emotions and resilience. My promise to you today is that by the end of this video, you will not only understand the Zen secret of 5 minutes, but will have practiced and felt its effects. You will have a set of practical tools, real-life examples, with stories from people like you, like Anna or John, who found their peace, inspiring quotes, and exercises that you can apply immediately in your routine. No matter how hectic your day is, you'll discover that peace is just 5 minutes away. We are about to embark on a practical journey, a journey to rediscover the calm that already exists within you, a journey that begins with a simple act of presence. To start, I want to hear from you. Comment below, what is taking away your peace the most today? What is the main challenge you face in your search for tranquility? Share with us. Let's work on this together, step by step, starting now. Returning to our journey, after understanding that peace is something we can access quickly, the natural question that arises is, if peace is within us and can be found in 5 minutes, why do we feel so stressed and without peace most of the time? Why does it seem like we're constantly struggling against something, whether it's time, people, circumstances, or even ourselves? The answer, like many things in life, is multifaceted. And to understand this deeply, we can look to the accumulated wisdom of millennia, filtered through the lenses of different philosophies and modern psychology. They, in distinct ways, point to the roots of our agitation and loss of peace. Let's start with Buddhism. One of the central teachings of Buddhism is that suffering, and the lack of peace is a form of suffering, arises from attachment and aversion. Attachment is our tendency to cling to things, ideas, people, possessions, outcomes, even our own identity. We want things to be a certain way and suffer when they aren't. Aversion is the opposite, our resistance to what is unpleasant, painful, or undesired. We flee from discomfort, fight against reality, This constant dance between attachment and aversion keeps our minds in a state of tension, always seeking pleasure and avoiding pain. Think of your mind as a monkey jumping from branch to branch, the monkey mind. It leaps from one thought to another, from one worry to another, rarely settling in the present moment. This mental agitation, fueled by attachment to our thoughts and aversion to simply observing what is happening, is one of the main thieves of our peace. We are so caught up in the whirlwind of our thoughts that we lose connection with the calm that resides beneath the surface. Now let's look at Taoism. Taoism speaks about living in harmony with the Tao, the natural flow of the universe. The concept of Wu Wei, non-action in Taoism, doesn't mean doing nothing, but rather acting effortlessly, aligned with the current of life, instead of fighting against it. We lose peace when we resist this flow. We want things to happen on our time, in our way. When life presents obstacles, unexpected changes, or situations we didn't plan, our tendency is to resist, push, force. This resistance creates friction, tension, and of course, a lack of peace. It's like trying to row a boat against a strong current instead of adjusting the sails and using the wind to your advantage. Resistance to what is drains us and distances us from serenity. Positive psychology, on the other hand, offers us a science-based perspective on why we tend to focus on the negative. Our brains have a negativity bias, an evolutionary heritage that made us more sensitive to threats to ensure survival. In modern times, where physical threats are less common, this bias turns to social, financial, professional, and personal worries. We tend to ruminate on what went wrong, anticipate future problems, and focus on our failures rather than our strengths or the things that are going right. This constant focus on the negative creates fertile ground for stress and anxiety, undermining our ability to feel peace and gratitude for what we have in the present. Combine these insights with the reality of modern life. We are bombarded with stimuli all the time. Notifications flashing, emails arriving every minute, endless news feeds, the pressure to always be on and available. Multitasking has become the norm, fragmenting our attention and preventing us from diving deeply into anything. This external agitation feeds and is fed by our internal agitation. We are addicted to distraction, to noise, to the feeling of always doing. This constant stimulation and the fragmentation of our attention distance us from the only place where peace can be found, the present moment. We lose peace, essentially, because we cling to how we think things should be. Buddhism. We resist how things actually are. Taoism. Our minds are naturally inclined to focus on what is wrong. Positive psychology. The modern environment amplifies all these tendencies. It's a vicious cycle. The more stressed we become, the harder it is to be present. The less present we are, the more we cling, resist, and focus on the negative. And so, peace seems increasingly distant. Let me tell you the story of Sarah. Sarah is a marketing manager at a tech company. At 38, she felt at the peak of her career, but also at the edge of her sanity. Her job required her to be always connected, responding to emails and messages at any hour of the day or night. She had tight deadlines, a team to manage, and constant pressure for results. Sarah lived with a chronic sense of overload. She woke up already thinking about the mountain of tasks awaiting her. During the day, she jumped from one meeting to another, desperately trying to keep up with emails between calls, and often brought work home, spending nights and weekends in front of the computer. Stress began to take its toll. She had trouble sleeping, frequent headaches, and was always irritable. Small setbacks at work or home would set her off. She felt disconnected from friends and family, even when she was with them, because her mind was always elsewhere, thinking about the next deadline, the presentation she had to prepare, the email she forgot to send. Sarah thought the problem was the deadlines, the workload, the demands of her boss. She believed that if she could just handle everything, the stress would disappear and she would find peace. But the more she tried to control and force things, the worse it got. She was fighting against the current, resisting the reality that the workload was high and that she couldn't control all the external factors. She was attached to the idea of being the perfect manager who never missed a deadline and always had everything under control, and averse to any sign of failure or imperfection. Her mind constantly focused on the risks, possible mistakes, the criticism she might receive, a clear example of the negativity bias in action. One day, after a nearly sleepless night and a mild panic attack before an important meeting, Sarah had a moment of clarity. Sitting alone in the meeting room trying to catch her breath, she realized that the stress wasn't coming directly from the deadlines. It was coming from her reaction to the deadlines. It was coming from her racing mind, which turned every task into a monster, every email into an emergency. It was coming from her inability to be present, to focus on one thing at a time, to accept that she was human and couldn't control everything. She realized she was losing peace not because life was difficult, though it was, but because she was constantly fighting against the difficulty instead of finding a way to navigate it with more calm. Her internal agitation was the true source of her suffering, amplified by the agitation of the world around her. This realization was the first step for Sarah. She still had deadlines, still had emails, but something changed within her. She began to seek ways to calm her mind, to be more present, to let go of the need for absolute control. And that's how she eventually discovered the power of simple practices, like the 5-minute Zen method we'll explore. Peace didn't appear because the problems vanished, but because she changed the way she related to them. Sarah's story perfectly illustrates a profound truth, encapsulated in the words of Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh. Peace is not the absence of problems, but the presence of calm. This quote is fundamental. It demystifies the idea that we need a perfect life without challenges or difficulties to experience peace. Peace is not a state we achieve after all our problems are solved. It is a state we can cultivate amidst the problems. It is the ability to find a center of calm within us, even when the storm is raging outside. It is the presence of calm that allows us to navigate difficulties with more clarity, resilience, and wisdom. Without this calm, we are dragged by the current of stress and anxiety. With it, we can find our balance and act more effectively and consciously. Now that we understand a bit better why we lose peace, the traps of attachment, resistance, focusing on the negative and modern agitation, it's time to bring this understanding to your own life. Philosophy and psychology are powerful tools, but they only come to life when we apply them. Let's do a small exercise now. Reserve just 2 minutes for this. If possible, find a place where you won't be interrupted for a moment. Grab a piece of paper and a pen, or use the notepad on your phone. First, take a few deep breaths. Inhale slowly through your nose. Feel the air filling your lungs, and exhale softly through your mouth, releasing the tension. Do this 3 times. Now, think about your day, your week. What are the 3 things that are most taking away your peace at this moment? They can be big worries or small annoyances. List them. Okay. Do you have your 3 things? Great. Now, for each one of them, ask yourself the following question, inspired by Stoic wisdom to focus on what we can control. Can I control this? Think honestly. The answer might be yes, no, or maybe partially. For the first thing on your list, ask, can I control this? Write down your answer. For the second thing, ask, can I control this? Write down your answer. For the third thing, ask, can I control this? Write down your answer. Done. You've just taken a crucial step to reclaim your peace by identifying what is taking away your peace, and more importantly, by discerning what is within your control and what is not. You begin to untie the knots of agitation. Often, we lose peace because we're spending precious energy trying to control the uncontrollable, the actions of others, past events, the uncertain future, the weather, the economy. The Stoics teach us that wisdom and tranquility come from focusing our energy only on what is within our power, our thoughts, our attitudes, our actions in the present moment. By realizing that something is out of your control, you can start practicing the art of letting go, of accepting, a theme we'll return to. By realizing that something is within your control, you can direct your energy toward constructive action instead of drowning in worry. This exercise is just the beginning. It gives you an initial map of the areas disturbing your peace. I want to invite you to share your experience. In the comments below, tell us, what is stressing you out today? What was one of the things you listed? Share if you feel comfortable. By sharing, you not only externalize the worry but also connect with a community of people facing similar challenges. And here's a challenge for you. Throughout the day or week, whenever you feel your peace being stolen, pause for a moment and ask yourself, can I control this? Reflect on the answer and observe how this simple question can change your perspective and reaction to the situation. Come back here in the comments afterward to tell me what you noticed. Your experience can inspire others. Remember the good news I mentioned at the beginning. If you're enjoying this content and finding it useful, give the video a like and comment. This signals to YouTube that this type of content is relevant to you, and it will start recommending more videos that can help you on your journey of self-discovery and search for peace. It's a way for you to shape the algorithm to work in your favor. Understanding why we lose peace is the first step to finding it. In the next sections, we'll dive into the 5-minute Zen method and how other philosophies and psychology can give us practical tools to cultivate this calm and resilience in our daily lives. In our last topic, we explored the deep reasons why inner peace often eludes us. We saw how attachment and aversion trap us, Buddhism, how resistance to life's flow drains us, Taoism, how our brains tend to focus on the negative, positive psychology, and how the agitation of the modern world amplifies all of this. Understanding the root of the problem is the first step, but the next, and perhaps the most exciting, is discovering the solution. If peace is not the absence of problems but the presence of calm, how can we cultivate this presence quickly and effectively, even in the midst of chaos? This is where the Zen secret of 5 minutes comes in. It's not a mystical secret kept under lock and key, but a simple practice accessible to anyone, anywhere, at any time. The 5-minute Zen method for finding peace is a practical distillation of centuries of wisdom. It is based on the central idea of Zen. Enlightenment and peace can be found in the present moment, in the simplicity of direct experience, without the need for complicated mental constructs. It's about stopping, breathing, and simply being. This method, which we will detail now, combines the essence of Zen presence with powerful insights from other traditions that complement it perfectly. Presence, Zen. Total focus on the now, on sensory experience, on breathing. Conscious breathing, Buddhism. Using breath as an anchor for the mind, calming inner agitation, fluidity and detachment, Taoism and Buddhism. The ability to observe thoughts and feelings without clinging to them, allowing them to pass like clouds in the sky. Focus on the present moment and gratitude, positive psychology. Directing attention to what is happening now in a non-judgmental way and cultivating appreciation for what is. The method consists of 5 simple steps that can be practiced sequentially in approximately 5 minutes. The beauty lies in its simplicity and portability. You can use it before a stressful meeting, in the middle of a chaotic day, during a moment of anxiety, or whenever you feel peace slipping away. Let's detail each step. Step 1. Find your 5-minute sanctuary. The first step is to create a small space, even if it's just mental, for yourself. It doesn't need to be a temple or a meditation room. It could be your office chair, a park bench, your parked car, or even the bathroom. Sometimes it's the only place where you can get a little privacy. The important thing is to choose a location where you feel relatively safe and can allow yourself to stop for 5 minutes. If possible, sit down, feel your feet on the ground, your body in the chair. If you can't sit, just stop where you are. Close your eyes gently, if it's safe and comfortable, or simply lower your gaze. The goal is to minimize external distractions and signal to your body and mind that it's time for a break. This is your mini sanctuary, a place where for 5 minutes the outside world can wait. Step 2. Anchor yourself in conscious breathing. Breath is the most powerful anchor we have to the present moment. It is always here, always now. In Buddhism, attention to breath is a fundamental practice for calming the mind and cultivating awareness. Start paying attention to your breath. Don't try to change it at first. Just observe. Feel the air coming in and going out. Feel the sensation in your nose, your throat, your chest, your abdomen. Notice the natural rhythm of your breath. Is it fast, slow, deep, shallow? There is no right or wrong. Just observe. After a few natural breaths, start breathing more deeply and intentionally to activate your parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for relaxation. We'll use a simple technique, the 4-2-6 breath. Inhale slowly through your nose, counting to 4. Hold the air in your lungs for 2 seconds. Exhale slowly through your mouth, counting to 6. Repeat this cycle 3 times. Feel the difference these deep breaths make. They send a clear signal to your body. Everything is okay. You can relax. Step 3. Observe without judgment. Mind as the sky. Now that your breath is calmer, your mind may start bringing up thoughts, and that's perfectly normal. The goal is not to stop thinking, but to change your relationship with your thoughts. Imagine your mind as the vast blue sky. Thoughts are like clouds passing by. Some clouds are dark and threatening, worries, fears. Others are light and fleeting, memories, plans. The secret is not to cling to any cloud, not to try to force them away, nor to identify with them. Simply, observe the thoughts that arise, recognize them. There's a thought about work, there's a worry about the future, there's a memory from the past. Observe them without judging them as good or bad. Just see them pass like clouds in the sky. Don't engage with them, don't start talking to them in your head, just observe. This practice of non-judgmental observation is central to Zen and Buddhism. It teaches us that we are not our thoughts. Our thoughts are events that happen in our minds, just as rain or sunshine are events that happen in the sky. By creating this distance, you reduce the power that thoughts have to drag you into agitation. Step 4. Let go of expectations and resistance, flowing like water. This step connects deeply with Taoism and the idea of Wu Wei, acting effortlessly, flowing with life. Much of our lack of peace comes from resisting reality. We want things to be different from what they are. We want people to act differently. We want not to feel what we're feeling. In this 5-minute moment, practice letting go of the need for control and resistance. Let go of the expectation that you should be feeling differently. Let go of the expectation that the situation should be different. Let go of the resistance to any thoughts or feelings that arose during your observation. Imagine you are a leaf floating on a calm river. You are not fighting against the current, nor trying to control where the river takes you. You are simply flowing. Allow yourself to float with the present moment, whatever it may be. Feel the lightness of letting go of the weight of expectations and resistance. Tell yourself softly, I let go of the need to control this now. I let go of the resistance to this moment. Step 5. Cultivate gratitude, finding abundance in the now. The final minutes of the practice are dedicated to cultivating gratitude. Positive. Psychology shows us the immense power of gratitude to change our emotional state and focus on the positive. In the context of Zen, it's about finding perfection and beauty in the present moment, exactly as it is. Even on the toughest days, there is always something to be grateful for. It could be something grand, but often the most powerful gratitude comes from simple things. Your breath, the fact that you have 5 minutes to yourself, the sensation of your body, the light coming through the window, the distant sound of a bird. Spend a minute thinking of 1 or 2 things you are genuinely grateful for right now. Feel this gratitude in your body. Allow it to fill the space that agitation occupied. Gratitude anchors us in the abundance of the present, rather than getting lost in the scarcity of our worries. At the end of the 5 minutes, take 1 more deep breath. Feel your body present, your mind a bit calmer. Open your eyes gently, bringing this sense of peace and presence back to your day. This is the 5-minute Zen method. Simple, but incredibly effective. It's a muscle you train. The more you practice, the easier it becomes to find this calm and access it quickly. To illustrate how this works in real life, let's meet Emily. Emily is 35 years old. a mother of 3 young children, and works part-time as a freelance designer from home. Her mornings are, to say the least, chaotic. One particular day, everything seemed to go wrong. The baby woke up crying. The oldest daughter refused to wear the chosen outfit. The middle child spilled cereal all over the kitchen, and the dog decided to bark incessantly at the mailman. Emily felt that familiar wave of stress and frustration rising. Her mind started racing. I won't be able to finish that project today. I'm late for the client call. The house is a mess. I'm a terrible mother, designer, person. In the middle of this whirlwind, Emily remembered the 5-minute Zen method she had learned. She knew she couldn't make the external chaos disappear instantly, but maybe she could find a bit of peace within it. She picked up the baby, put the other 2 kids in front of a quick cartoon, and sitting on the kitchen floor amidst the mess, decided to take her 5-minute step 1 sanctuary. She closed her eyes for a moment, even with the noise around her. The kitchen floor was her sanctuary at that moment. Step 2, breathing. With the baby in her lap, she focused on her breath. She inhaled, counting to 4, feeling the little warm body against hers, held for 2. Exhaled slowly through her mouth, counting to 6, feeling the tension ease a bit. She repeated this 3 times. Breath was an anchor in the midst of the storm. Step 3, observation. Thoughts of guilt and overwhelm surfaced. Look at this mess. You can't handle it. She just observed. There's the thought of guilt. There's the worry about the mess. She didn't engage with them, just let them pass. Step 4, letting go. She felt the resistance. I don't want it to be this way. I wanted a calm morning. She breathed and let go of the resistance. I let go of the need to control this morning. I accept that it's chaotic right now. A small wave of relief washed over her. Step 5, gratitude. She looked at the baby in her lap, feeling the scent of his hair. She felt gratitude for that little being, for the health of her children, for the roof over their heads, for the breath that calmed her. 5 minutes later, the external chaos was still there. The cereal was still on the floor, the dog was still barking. But something fundamental had changed within Emily. The wave of panic subsided. She felt more centered, less reactive. The monkey mind was still jumping, but she was no longer completely identified with it. With this small pause, Emily was able to handle the rest of the morning with more patience and clarity. She got the kids to school, cleaned up the cereal with more calm, and made the client call with more confidence. The 5-minute method didn't eliminate the challenge, but it gave her the inner strength to face it differently. He could control his initial reaction of panic. He could control his attitude toward the problem, choose to see it as a challenge to be solved rather than a personal catastrophe. He could control his actions in the present moment, focus on analyzing the problem, seeking solutions, collaborating with the team. He could control the amount of energy he dedicated to worry versus solution. By making this distinction, John felt a subtle but powerful shift. The wave of panic subsided a bit. He still felt the pressure, but he was no longer paralyzed by fear of the uncontrollable. He directed his energy toward what was within his power. He gathered his team, explained the situation calmly, practicing self-compassion by recognizing the difficulty without excessively blaming himself. And together they began to analyze the problem. They worked hard, faced obstacles, but kept their focus on actions they could control, testing hypotheses, writing code, seeking external help when necessary. There were moments of frustration, yes, moments when the monkey mind tried to pull him back into worry about the future. But John used conscious breathing from the Zen method to anchor himself and return to asking, "What can I do now?" He also practiced self-compassion, reminding himself and his team that they were doing the best they could in a difficult situation. They didn't manage to resolve the problem completely before the original deadline, which led to a difficult conversation with management. But because John had focused on what he could control, clear communication, honest presentation of the status, and a plan of action to resolve the problem as quickly as possible, the situation was managed much more effectively than it would have been if he had succumbed to panic and denial. The project was delivered with a slight delay, but the solution to the technical issue was found soon after. John didn't lose his job. His reputation wasn't ruined. More importantly, he learned a valuable lesson about resilience. He realized that peace didn't depend on the perfect outcome, but on his ability to face adversity with clarity, focus, and an attitude of acceptance of what couldn't be changed, while acting diligently on what could. He used the crisis not as a reason to lose peace, but as an opportunity to strengthen his resilience. John's experience echoes the wisdom of the Stoic philosopher and emperor Marcus Aurelius, who wrote in his Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." This is one of the most powerful and liberating phrases in Stoicism. It reminds us that, although we cannot control what happens to us, we have, with practice and awareness, the fundamental power to choose how we respond to what happens. Our thoughts, our judgments, our attitudes, these are our domain. This is where our true freedom and our ability to maintain inner peace regardless of external circumstances reside. When we feel overwhelmed by events beyond our control, we can return to this simple truth: my power is in my mind. I can choose not to be dragged down by fear or anger. I can choose to maintain calm and clarity. I can choose to focus on the next useful action, rather than getting lost in useless worry. This quote is a beacon of resilience in turbulent times. Let's put this wisdom into practice. In topic 1, you listed 3 things that are taking away your peace. Now let's revisit that list with the lens of Stoic resilience. Take out your list again. For each of the 3 situations, you already asked yourself, can I control this? Now let's go a bit deeper. For each item on your list, recognize the situation. Briefly describe the situation that is taking away your peace. Identify the uncontrollable. What aspects of this situation are completely out of your control? List them, e.g., other people's actions, a past event, the uncertain outcome of something. Identify the controllable. What aspects of this situation are within your control? List them, e.g., your attitude, your reaction, your preparation, your communication, your next small action. Plan your controllable action. Based on what you can control, what is one small and concrete action you can take now or soon to deal with this situation more effectively, or to take care of yourself? Take 2 minutes now to do this reflection and note-taking for each of your 3 items. Done. You just applied a fundamental principle of resilience. By separating the controllable from the uncontrollable, you reclaim your power. By planning an action over what you can control, you transform worry into purpose. It may be that, for one of the situations, you realize that almost everything is out of your control. In these cases, the controllable action might simply be practicing acceptance, letting go of resistance, and focusing on caring for your own inner peace, perhaps using the 5-minute Zen method. For other situations, there might be clear practical actions to be taken. The important thing is to direct your energy where it can truly make a difference. This exercise is not just theoretical, it's a call to action. In the comments, share one of the situations from your list, and more importantly, share the controllable action you identified to deal with it. Seeing practical examples from each other inspires us and shows us that we are not alone on this journey. Which situation will you face with calm, focusing on what you can control? Comment, and here's your challenge. Take the controllable action you identified for one of the situations and apply it today. It could be a difficult conversation you need to have, a boundary you need to set, a moment of self-care you need to take, or simply the conscious decision to let go of worry about something you can't change. Apply this action and observe how you feel. Come back here afterward to tell me the result or your perception. Remember, liking and commenting on this video not only shows me that this content is useful to you, but also helps YouTube's algorithm understand your interests and recommend more videos about personal development, resilience, and inner peace. It's a small act that creates a positive cycle. Building resilience is a continuous process, It's like strengthening the foundations of your inner home. The stronger they are, the more secure and peaceful your home will be, even when life's storms come. In the next topic, we'll see how we can integrate the practice of presence and mindfulness into our daily lives to expand this sense of peace, going beyond the focused 5 minutes. So far, we've explored why we lose peace and discovered the power of finding a refuge of calm in just 5 minutes using the Zen method. We've also seen how to build resilience to face life's challenges without completely losing our center. But the peace we seek doesn't need to be confined to these brief moments of formal practice or arise only in response to a crisis. We can cultivate presence and tranquility in every moment of our day. This is where the practice of mindfulness comes in. Mindfulness, or present moment awareness, is the ability to bring our attention on purpose to the present moment, without judgment. It's not an esoteric technique, but a way of being in life, of experiencing each moment with fullness and awareness. And this practice is deeply rooted in the teachings of Zen and Buddhism, finds echoes in the fluidity of Taoism, and is validated by the discoveries of positive psychology about well-being and the state of flow. Mindfulness is, at its essence, the practice of being present. It seems simple, right? But in our modern lives, with the monkey mind jumping from one thought to another, and the external world constantly competing for our attention, truly being present is a superpower. In Zen and Buddhism, mindful awareness is a fundamental path to enlightenment and liberation from suffering. It's the practice of observing reality as it is, moment by moment, without the distorted lens of our desires, fears, and judgments. It's being present while washing the dishes, walking, or talking to someone. Each activity becomes an opportunity for practice. This presence frees us from rumination about the past and anxiety about the future, anchoring us in the only moment that truly exists, the now. Taoism complements this idea with the concept of living in harmony with the natural flow of life, the Tao. When we are fully present, we are more attuned to this flow. The practice of mindfulness helps us let go of resistance, which we saw in Topic 1 as a thief of peace, and move with more fluidity through experiences. Being present allows us to respond to life rather than merely react to it, navigating turbulent waters with more grace and less effort, like water that flows around obstacles rather than trying to break them. Positive psychology validates the benefits of mindfulness through extensive research. Studies show that regular mindfulness practice can reduce stress, decrease anxiety and depression, improve focus and concentration, increase self-compassion, and promote overall well-being. The state of flow, described in positive psychology as a state of total immersion in an activity where the person feels energized and focused, has many similarities with deep mindful awareness. Being present allows us to immerse ourselves more fully in our activities, making them more rewarding and less stressful. The 5-minute Zen method we practiced is a form of focused and intentional mindfulness. But the practice of mindfulness can be much broader. It's not limited to sitting in meditation. It can be applied to any moment, any activity. It's about bringing the same quality of attention, curious, open, non-judgmental, to everyday experiences. Mindfulness in eating, paying. Total attention to the taste, smell, texture, and temperature of the food. Mindfulness in walking, feeling the contact of your feet with the ground, observing the sounds, smells, and landscapes around you. Mindfulness in communication, truly listening to the other person, paying attention not only to the words but also to the tone of voice and body language. Mindfulness in routine tasks, being fully present while washing the dishes, taking a shower, or making the bed. The key is the intention to be present and the attitude of non-judgment. When the mind wanders, and it will, or the goal is not to criticize yourself but simply to notice where the mind went and gently bring it back to the present moment, to the breath, to the sensation in the body, to the activity you are doing. Each time you do this, you are strengthening the muscle of mindful awareness. Integrating mindfulness into daily life doesn't mean adding another task to your list. It means changing the way you do the tasks you already do. It's about bringing more consciousness and presence to moments that previously went unnoticed, transforming the mundane into something meaningful and, yes, peaceful. Each present moment is an opportunity to find a bit of calm, to let go of agitation, and simply to be. Let's return to our friend Anna. Anna is a 38-year-old executive with a demanding career and a busy routine. For a long time, her mornings were a blur of rush and multitasking. She would wake up, immediately grab her phone to check emails, prepare breakfast while thinking about the first meeting of the day, eat quickly in front of the computer, and rush out the door, already feeling the weight of the day. Peace was a distant concept. Anna started practicing the 5-minute Zen method, which helped her find brief pauses of calm. But she noticed that the agitation would return quickly as soon as she dove back into her routine. She wanted to bring more of this calm into her entire day. That's when she decided to try mindfulness in her daily life. She started with something simple: breakfast. Instead of eating in a rush or in front of a screen, she decided to dedicate 10 minutes to mindful eating. Oh no. The first day it was difficult. Her mind was everywhere, thinking about deadlines, difficult conversations, everything but breakfast. But she remembered the teachings: observe without judgment and gently bring your attention back. She picked up her cup of coffee. Instead of just drinking, she paused for a moment. She observed the rich, dark color of the liquid. She felt the warmth of the cup in her hands. She brought the cup close to her nose and inhaled the aroma deeply. She took the first sip, paying total attention to the taste, the temperature, the sensation of the liquid going down her throat. She did the same with her toast. She observed the texture, the smell. She chewed slowly, paying attention to the taste and the sensation in her mouth. She wasn't thinking about emails or meetings. She was just there having breakfast. The mind still wandered, of course. A thought about a client would arise, a worry about a task. But Anna, instead of getting lost in these thoughts, simply noticed them. There's a thought about the client, okay? And gently brought her attention back to the taste of the coffee, to the sensation of the toast. Over time, this practice became easier and more natural. The 10 minutes of breakfast became an oasis of calm at the start of the day. Anna noticed that by being fully present during these few minutes, she felt more centered, calmer, and better prepared for whatever came next. She began to expand the practice to other areas. While walking from the metro to the office, instead of being lost in thoughts, she paid attention to the sounds of the city, the feeling of the wind on her face, the movement of people around her. During meetings, she practiced listening with mindful awareness, focusing totally on what was being said rather than planning her next speech. Anna didn't become a person without stress overnight. The challenges continued. But by integrating mindfulness into small moments of her day, she was building a foundation of peace and presence that extended far beyond the 5 minutes of formal practice. She discovered that peace wasn't something to be sought in a distant future, but something to be found in the richness of each present moment, no matter how simple. Anna's story reminds us that life happens in the present, and so does peace. On the car, Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu, considered the founder of Taoism, expressed this timeless truth: the present is the only moment in which you can live. This quote is a powerful reminder of the illusion we live when our minds are constantly in the past or the future. The past is gone, the future has not yet arrived. The only point of power, the only place where life truly unfolds, is the now. When we lose ourselves in regrets about the past or worries about the future, we are missing the only opportunity we have to experience life, to act, to find peace. The practice of mindfulness invites us repeatedly to return to this one available moment. It is in the present that we can breathe, feel, act, and, crucially, find calm. Lao Tzu, with his wisdom about flow and presence, points us to the radical simplicity of living fully in the moment that is. Let's practice mindfulness in daily life right now with a simple exercise that you can do anywhere, anytime. This exercise focuses on sensory awareness. Take just 2 minutes for this. If possible, pause what you're doing for a moment. Close your eyes gently, if it's comfortable and safe, or simply rest your gaze on a fixed point. Now, Let's use your senses to anchor your attention in the present moment. Start with hearing. What can you hear right now? Pay attention to the sounds around you, nearby sounds, distant sounds, loud sounds, soft sounds. Don't judge the sounds as good or bad, just listen. Notice the richness of the soundscape around you. Now shift your attention to sensations in the body. What can you feel right now? Feel the contact of your body with the chair or the ground. Feel your clothes against your skin. Feel the temperature of the air on your skin. Notice any sensations in your body. Tingling, warmth, cold, pressure. Just observe, without trying to change anything. Next, pay attention to your breath. Feel the inhale and exhale of air in your body, the movement of your abdomen or chest. You don't need to change your breath, just feel it as a gentle anchor. Finally, if your eyes are open, pay attention to vision. Observe the colors, shapes, and textures around you. Notice the light. If your eyes are closed, just rest in the darkness or the colors that appear in your mind. Take one more deep breath. Feel present in your body, in the space where you are. Slowly open your eyes, bringing this sensory awareness back with you. How do you feel after dedicating just 2 minutes to being fully present through your senses? Even a brief pause like this can change the quality of the moment. The practice of mindfulness in daily life is a continuous journey of returning to the present. Each moment is a new opportunity. I want to know, which sense did you find easiest to focus on during the exercise? Hearing, touch, sensations in the body, breath, or vision? Share your experience in the comments. Your answer might give others ideas about where to start practicing. And here's your mindfulness challenge for tomorrow. Choose a routine activity you do every day, like brushing your teeth, washing your hands, drinking water, walking to your car, transport. For 1 or 2 minutes, practice doing this activity with total mindful awareness, using your senses. Notice everything you normally wouldn't. How does this change the experience? Come back and tell me in the comments. If this exercise and this discussion about mindfulness resonated with you, if you feel that being more present can bring you more peace, please give this video a like. This helps me spread this message and, as you already know, helps YouTube show you more content that nourishes your well-being journey. Integrating mindfulness into daily life, along with the 5-minute Zen method and building resilience, creates a powerful foundation for a more peaceful and fulfilling life. In our next and final topic on development, we'll talk about how all this leads to a deeper personal transformation and a peace that is not just momentary, but enduring. We've reached a crucial point in our journey. We've explored the traps that rob us of peace, discovered a quick method to find it in just 5 minutes, and learned to build resilience to face life's challenges. Now let's talk about something even deeper. The personal transformation that leads to enduring peace, not just momentary calm. Often we think that peace will come when external circumstances change, when we have more money, a less stressful job, a perfect relationship, or when the world finally calms down. But true and sustainable peace doesn't depend on circumstances. It arises from a fundamental internal change, the transformation of our relationship with stress, difficulty, and life itself. This transformation is a process that involves integrating the lessons we've learned so far and going a step further, continuously cultivating qualities like radical acceptance, detachment, fluidity, and self-compassion. Enduring peace is not a state of absence of problems, but a state of being that allows us to navigate problems with serenity and clarity. It blooms when we stop fighting against reality and instead learn to embrace it with all its imperfections. Radical acceptance, a concept with deep roots in Stoicism and some modern therapeutic approaches, is fundamental here. It's not about passive resignation, giving up or agreeing that something painful is good. It's the conscious act of recognizing reality exactly as it is at this moment, without trying to deny it, resist it, or wish it were different. It's saying, Yes to what is. Think of a storm. You can't prevent it from happening. Resisting it, shouting at the wind or denying that it's raining is useless and exhausting. Radical acceptance is recognizing it's raining. There's strong wind. Once you accept reality, you can then decide the best way to respond to it. Seek shelter. Put on a raincoat. Wait it out. The agitation and suffering come from resisting the storm, not from the storm itself. Accepting reality, even when it's painful, frees up the energy that was previously spent on resistance and allows us to focus on how to move forward from where we are. Detachment, as taught in Buddhism, complements acceptance. It's not about not caring, but about not clinging. We cling to outcomes, to people, to ideas, to how we think things should be. This attachment creates suffering because everything in life is impermanent, another fundamental Buddhist lesson. Things change, people change, circumstances change. When we cling to something that is inherently impermanent, we set ourselves up for pain when that thing inevitably changes or disappears. Detachment is the practice of letting go of this need to cling. It's recognizing that we can love, care, and act with purpose, but without the need to control or possess. It's like holding sand in your hand. The tighter you grip, the more it slips through your fingers. If you relax your hand, the sand stays. Detachment frees us from the fear of loss and allows us to appreciate things and people for what they are in the present moment, without the anxiety that they might change. This freedom from attachment is a direct path to peace. Taoism teaches us about fluidity. Living in harmony with the Tao is moving with the current of life, rather than fighting against it. The transformation for enduring peace involves developing this fluidity. It's learning to adapt, to be flexible, to find the path with the least friction. Instead of having a rigid plan and getting frustrated when things don't go as expected, the fluid person adjusts their sails, finds new paths, and trusts the wisdom of the process. This adaptability and trust reduce tension and anxiety as we are not constantly trying to force life to fit our rigid expectations. Finally, self-compassion, a pillar of positive psychology and present in Buddhism, is essential for sustaining this transformation. The journey to enduring peace is not linear. There will be stumbles, moments of doubt, days when agitation seems to return in full force. In these moments, self-criticism can be devastating. Self-compassion allows us to be kind to ourselves, to recognize that we are human, that we will make mistakes, and that suffering is a part of the shared human experience. Instead of punishing ourselves for losing peace, we can offer ourselves the same kindness and understanding we would offer a friend. This internal gentleness creates a safe environment for our own healing and growth, strengthening our ability to persist in the pursuit of peace. Personal transformation for enduring peace happens when we integrate these principles. Accept reality, Stoicism. Let go of attachment to outcomes and expectations, Buddhism. Flow with the changes of life, Taoism. Be kind and understanding to ourselves throughout the process, positive psychology, Buddhism. It's not about eliminating stress, but about changing our response to it. It's about building an internal foundation so solid that, even when the ground shakes, we remain centered. Meet David. David, a 45-year-old university professor, always considered himself an anxious person. He constantly worried about the future, his classes, his students' and colleagues' opinions, and financial security. His mind was always projecting negative scenarios. He sought control in everything, creating rigid routines and getting immensely frustrated when something went off plan. Peace was a rare state, usually associated with vacations far away from everything. David began his journey seeking relief from anxiety. He tried the 5-minute Zen method and felt momentary relief, which motivated him to go deeper. He started exploring the teachings of Stoicism on control. I remember him telling me how liberating it was to realize that he couldn't control whether students liked his class, but he could control how well he prepared it and the passion he put into it. This helped him let go of some performance anxiety. Next, he delved into Buddhism and the idea of detachment and impermanence. He began to observe his anxious thoughts as clouds without clinging to them. He practiced letting go of the attachment to the idea that everything had to be perfect or that he had to please everyone. It was a gradual process with many ups and downs. There was a particularly challenging period when the university went through a restructuring, and David's department was affected. Many colleagues were stressed and afraid of losing their jobs. David's anxiety skyrocketed. But instead of drowning in it as he would have in the past, he remembered the principles he was learning. He practiced radical acceptance of the situation. The restructuring was happening. There was uncertainty. He couldn't control the university's decision, but he could control how he reacted. He focused on what he could do: maintain calm for his team, continue giving his best in classes, update his resume, a controllable action. He also practiced detachment from the outcome. Although he hoped to keep his job, he worked on accepting the possibility of not. This didn't mean he didn't care, but that he wasn't clinging to a specific future. He found a strange sense of freedom in letting go of this need for control. When he felt anxiety rising, he used the 5-minute Zen method to anchor himself in the present. And when he felt frustrated or scared, he practiced self-compassion, reminding himself that it was normal to feel this way in an uncertain situation and that he deserved kindness. David's transformation wasn't magical. He still felt anxiety at times, but his relationship with it changed completely. Instead of being dragged by anxiety, he learned to observe it, accept it as a temporary sensation, and choose his response. He became more flexible, more able to flow with unexpected changes. Over time, David's inner peace became a solid foundation in his life. He discovered that by stopping to fight against reality and himself, he found a serenity he never imagined possible. He didn't need to change jobs or lives to find peace. He changed himself, his perspective, his way of being in the world. And this transformation brought a peace that external circumstances couldn't take away. David's journey illustrates a profound truth about enduring peace, perfectly captured in the words of Sri Chinmoy. Peace begins when expectation ends. This quote may seem simple, but it is incredibly profound. Often our lack of peace is directly linked to our expectations about ourselves, others, and life. We expect things to be a certain way, and when they aren't, we suffer. We expect not to feel certain emotions, and when they arise, we fight against them. Buddhist detachment, Stoic acceptance, and Taoist fluidity invite us to let go of these rigid expectations. When we stop demanding that reality bend to our desires and expectations, we create space for peace. It's not that we can't have hopes or plans, but peace comes from not being attached to them in a way that their non-fulfillment destroys our tranquility. When expectation ends, resistance diminishes, attachment loosens, and we open ourselves to the reality of the present moment. And, as we've seen, it is in the present moment that peace resides. This quote is a powerful invitation to examine where our expectations are robbing us of peace and to practice the art of letting them go. Let's practice acceptance and letting go of expectations now. This exercise is a way to bring the wisdom of this topic into your direct experience. Think of a situation in your life that is causing you stress or lack of peace. It could be an ongoing situation or something that happened recently. Choose something you are willing to explore. Breathe deeply a few times, anchoring yourself in the present. Bring the situation to your mind. Observe the thoughts and feelings that arise in relation to it. Where do you feel this situation in your body? Is there tension? Tightness? Now, identify the expectations you have in relation to this situation. What did you expect to happen or not happen? How did you expect people to act? How did you expect to feel? Note these expectations mentally or on paper. Now let's practice radical acceptance and letting go of expectations. Recognize the reality of the situation exactly as it is at this moment. Not as you would like it to be, but as it is. Say to yourself, mentally or softly, I accept that. Describe the situation as the reality now. Feel the truth of this statement. It's not about liking it, but about recognizing it. Now identify the expectations you listed. One by one, Practice letting them go. Imagine each expectation is a leaf in the palm of your hand. Now, open your hand and let the leaf be carried away by the wind. Say to yourself, I let go of the expectation that, say the expectation, I let go of the need for this to be different. Breathe deeply as you let go. Finally, return to your breath for a few moments. Feel the space that has been created by letting go of resistance and expectations. Feel the lightness that can arise from acceptance. Breathe deeply one more time. Slowly, open your eyes. How do you feel after practicing acceptance and letting go of expectations in relation to this situation? It may not resolve the external problem, but it can significantly change your internal experience of it. Personal transformation is a journey, not a destination. And the practice of acceptance and letting go is a muscle that strengthens with use. Want to invite you to share your experience with this exercise. In the comments, tell us, which expectation were you able to let go of during this exercise? How did it make you feel? Sharing your vulnerability and discoveries helps build our community and inspires others. And here is your challenge for this week. Choose a situation where you feel resistant or frustrated because things aren't going as you expected. For a week, practice radical acceptance of this situation and the conscious act of letting go of your expectations about it. Observe what happens to your stress levels and inner peace. Come back here and tell me the results. If this topic on personal transformation and enduring peace resonated with you, if you feel that accepting and letting go can be a path to more tranquility, please give this video a like. Your like is a vote of confidence and helps this content reach more people seeking the same peace. And remember, commenting also helps YouTube recommend more videos aligned with your personal growth and well-being interests. We've reached the end of our development topics. We've explored the roots of our agitation, learned a quick method to find peace, built resilience, and seen how to integrate presence into our daily lives for enduring transformation. In the next and final segment, we'll make a final reflection and an invitation for you to continue this journey. We've come to the end of this journey together. We started feeling the weight of modern agitation, the sense of being swallowed by life, desperately seeking a moment of peace. We explored the deep reasons behind this lack of tranquility, looking through the lenses of Buddhism, Taoism, and positive psychology. And then we unveiled the Zen secret, a simple 5-minute method to find a refuge of calm in the midst of the storm. We practiced this method together, feeling firsthand how breath, presence, non-judgmental observation, letting go and gratitude can create a space of serenity in just a few moments. We saw how the wisdom of Stoicism, Buddhist self-compassion, and the tools of positive psychology help us build the resilience needed to maintain this peace, focusing on what we can control and accepting what we can't. And we learned the art of bringing mindfulness to every moment of our day, transforming the ordinary into an opportunity to be fully present and find peace in the now. Finally, we delved into the deeper personal transformation, understanding that enduring peace arises not from changing external circumstances, but from changing our relationship with them through radical acceptance, detachment, Taoist fluidity, and self-compassion. I've shared a bit of my own journey, from someone who lived running and exhausted to someone who found a path to calm in the midst of chaos. And I've shared stories like those of Sarah, Emily, John, and David, people like you and me, who applied these principles and found a new way to live, with more peace and clarity. This journey has no end point. Finding and maintaining peace is a continuous practice. There will be good days and challenging days, moments when it will be easy to find calm, and moments when it will seem impossible. But the great lesson is that you don't need to be perfect at this. You just need to be willing to practice, to return, to try again. The 5-minute Zen method is your pocket tool. Use it whenever you feel agitation starting. Use it before a challenging moment. Use it in the middle of a stressful day. Use it to start the day with more calm or to end it by releasing tensions. It's always available to you. And the lessons we've explored about resilience, daily mindfulness, and personal transformation are the pillars you can continue to strengthen. Continue practicing the distinction between the controllable and the uncontrollable. Continue seeking moments to be fully present. Continue working on acceptance and letting go of expectations. And above all, be kind to yourself in this process. Self-compassion is the oil that lubricates the gears of transformation. Peace is not a distant destination, but a path you walk, step by step, breath by breath, moment by moment. And this path is available to you starting now. If this video resonated with you, if it brought you a glimpse of peace or gave you tools to start your journey, I have a final invitation for you. First, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. This video is just the beginning. I'm planning a series of in-depth content on well-being, mindfulness, practical stoicism, and how to apply this ancient wisdom to modern life. By subscribing, you won't miss out on anything and will continue receiving content that can support you in your search for more peace and fulfillment. Second, I want to hear from you one more time. Thinking about everything we've discussed today, from the causes of agitation to the 5-minute Zen method, resilience, mindfulness, and personal transformation, comment below. What was the most important thing you learned or the tool you will apply today? Or tell me, what is taking away your peace the most today? Share in the comments and let's connect. Have you already tried the 5-minute Zen method or any mindfulness practice? How did you feel afterward? Tell us. What was the most valuable insight for you in this video? Which tool or practice will you apply in your routine today? Share your main insight or your first action. Your comment not only helps me understand what was most valuable for you, but also inspires our entire community. Remember, every like, every comment, every subscription is a step we take together on this journey. It's a sign that we are building a community of people intentionally seeking more peace and well-being in their lives. So, if this content resonated with you and brought you a bit more peace, show your support. Leave your like on the video and subscribe to the channel to continue receiving content that nourishes your soul. And share this video with a friend who is also seeking more tranquility. And as promised, I've prepared a special ebook with a practical summary of the techniques and exercises we've seen here, along with extra tips for integrating peace into your daily life. It's your quick guide to calm. To access yours, click on the link in the description below and the first pinned comment on this video, right below. To close this moment, I invite you to take one last reflective pause with me. Sit comfortably or simply stop where you are. Close your eyes gently if you wish. Breathe deeply. Feel the air entering and leaving your body. Feel the presence of your body, your connection with the ground or the chair. Feel the calm you have cultivated in this moment, in this video. Feel the peace that is always available to you, just a breath away, just 5 minutes of practice away. Feel the peace you have created. Now slowly open your eyes, take this sensation with you. Use the 5-minute Zen method. Practice resilience and mindfulness. Continue your journey of transformation. Peace is within your reach. Don't stop here. Your journey to peace continues. Choose one of the other videos appearing on your screen now and dive into more content that will help you live with more calm and presence. Thank you very much for being here. See you in the next video.